He's our NBA guy and had immediate strong opinions, former New York Times sports writer. So, there are people. It's so funny. So I read all the stories over the last, 16 hours, right? You read all the stories. And I'm getting a lot of this, he's never going to win here, and he's never going to do this. And I'm like, the Lakers do, Chris, have a couple of nice things. They got some draft picks. They got some young and improving cheap players. And they've got one-year contract guys. Seems to me that's what you need to make deals.
Yeah, they have a shot to improve dramatically. Obviously, the Kawhi Leonard thing is out there. I don't think the Spurs will trade him to the Lakers. I think if they trade him, it'll be to Philadelphia in the East when they have, the relationship with Brett Brown, who's running basketball operations and coaching the team in Philadelphia, was a former coach in San Antonio, has a relationship with Kawhi. And then when Kawhi becomes a free agent, we'll see. We saw it with Paul George. Maybe he'll stay in Philly. Maybe he'll come to the Lakers. The Clippers will be in the mix too. Kawhi will look at the Clippers as well. So it's not a foregone conclusion they'll get Kawhi, but they'll get somebody. Klay Thompson could be the guy. Golden State is going to have, at some point, I think they're going to stop spending so much money.
Right.
After they keep winning. And maybe it'll be after next year or the year after, but I think Klay Thompson could be here after next summer.
By the way,
Jimmy Butler be a free agent too.
And by the way, who's not going to sit down? Klay, Kawhi, Durant. Who's not going to sit down with LeBron and Magic? Hell, you're going to go to have dinner with them. The current NBA best salesman and the former NBA best salesman.
Well, Paul George didn't. Because he loved playing with Russell Westbrook.
We'll get that in a second. Before we get to that, let me go back to the Kawhi thing, because I want to say right now, and I want this everywhere in the world, I completely disagree with you and everybody on Kawhi. Okay, the Sixers have already come out and said, we're not giving you Embiid, we're not giving you Simmons.
Well, of course not.
Okay, and we're not giving you Markelle Fultz. The Lakers could give you either Kuzma or Brandon Ingram and a number one pick and a Josh Hart. The Lakers now can also give you expiring contracts. I think the Lakers have more. And if Kawhi comes out again, and I think he will, and says, I'm going to be a Laker, what team is going to give up any assets for that?
He hasn't come out and said that. Now, from what I'm told, he wants to be in L.A. Well, it could be the Lakers or it could be the Clippers.
But Stephen A. reported yesterday there is a belief he won't even play this year for the Spurs.
I can't see that. He'd be crazy. His value would drop tremendously.
Except for the
then
Lakers.
It's like, do you like basketball? How are you sitting out a whole year? Now, at the end of the day, somebody would take him, but you better believe it would mess with his money. After a guy sits out 2 years to spite the classiest organization in the NBA, I don't see that happening.
By the way, used to be classy until they called him out with Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, and Pop was a bully.
He wants out. Don't get me wrong. But I don't see him sitting out this season.
Okay.
And Markelle Fultz, maybe eventually he'll be offered. But even if they don't, Robert Covington, I'd hate to give up Dario Saric.
Oh, come on.
But hold on. And then they've got the Miami first-round pick unprotected in 2021. They got some other draft picks. Their picks could be better than the Lakers because these Lakers first-round picks are going to be low.
Yeah, but the difference is you have no assurance if you give up that stuff. I don't want to give
that
up.
He's staying. No.
You don't have any.
Again, I think what happened with Paul George will make teams think again about, you know what, maybe we can convince a guy about our culture. And what I'm saying, too, is don't rule out the Clippers for Kawhi.
No,
I'm not saying he's going there over the Lakers. I'm just saying don't rule them out. They'll be at the table.
I totally agree on that. I think it's down to the Lakers and the Clippers, and I think the Clippers have about a 30% shot. I think the Lakers do have Magic and LeBron. It feels bigger. It feels more urgent. Okay. So let's just have you. You're just going to go ahead. You take out your anvil. I'll be the piece of wood that you clobber now with Paul George joining Westbrook. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, I keep hearing that somewhere I'm hearing it, that nobody wants to play with Russell Westbrook. And I'm not saying he's the easiest guy to play with because he's not. But Paul George chose to play with him. He could have gotten almost just as much money with the Lakers. It's like an $8 million difference. So it wasn't about money.
But let me throw this out. So you're Paul George. Paul George is a good player. I like him. We both like him.
Yes.
He ain't LeBron.
No.
And he's not Kawhi Leonard.
No.
Okay. So it's interesting. BigLead.com. June 15th, the report surfaces. Kawhi Leonard wants to be a Laker. From that day forward, all we heard was, Paul George is really considering Oklahoma City. Let's be Paul George for a second. I'm out there. I ain't LeBron. I'm not Kawhi Leonard. Hell, Lonzo Ball gets more talk in this town, and so does Magic. Is it possible Paul George read the tea leaves? And when that Kawhi story came out, Chris, he went, I don't mind being the number 2 to Westbrook. I don't want to be the number 4.
Well, 3.
3, but I mean, in terms of talking
attention,
point, Magic's going to get talked about for the next year of having pulled off the free agent move of the decade. Is it possible that Paul looked at it and thought, I'd rather be a 2 than a 3 and possibly a 4?
It's very possible. However, he also could have looked at now he would have been a 3, but he could have looked at going to Philadelphia or Houston, but particularly Philadelphia, because even though he may have been a 3, maybe he would have been the second or even possibly the first leading scorer.
Agree.
So I'm just saying, look, would I rather play with LeBron James or Westbrook? I'd rather play with LeBron James.
Everybody in the world would.
More players have shunned playing with LeBron than with Russell Westbrook. Kyrie Irving and now Paul George didn't want to do it. And who is shunned playing with Westbrook? Durant stayed 9 years with Westbrook. So I'm just saying.
Is this what your NBA sources are telling you?
No, these are facts. We can't just say that Kevin Durant left Oklahoma City because of Westbrook.
So you think Paul George literally made the decision?
He did.
We know one thing about Paul. Paul has said he wants to win championships.
He ain't winning championships.
Oh, well,
not in Oklahoma.
Okay, so I'm going to trust Paul on his words. Paul has said, I want to win championships. I don't think I can win in Indy. So Paul made a decision. I'm wrong on the money then, what you're saying. Money, it's not money according to... So he made the decision it's easier to win titles in L.A. with LeBron? No. In rural Oklahoma City with Westbrook. You think that's a good decision?
No. Well, here's what I said about Paul George going into the weekend when it looked like he might stay. I said if he does stay, I would be impressed because he's saying, I believe Russell and I can get it done. They can't, but he believes it. And I like that. There's something honorable about wanting to climb the mountain and not wanting a stacked team. And that's what LeBron's doing going to the Lakers. He's not going to a stacked team. So there's something honorable about that. However, I said, I don't understand why in the world George would stay. LA's a better city. You're from there. You got a better chance to win championships with LeBron.
And by the way, the Lakers have picks, one-year contracts, young and improving players. Oklahoma City is trapped for the next 3 years. They can't do anything. They're a mile over the cap. They don't have all these one-year deals. They don't have the flexibility of the Lakers. They don't have a bunch of young, improving players. No. Melo's old. Adams established. Westbrook established. Paul George. They're
going to be good.
Oh,
they're not going to win a championship, but they're going to be good.
Well, you don't think the Lakers are going to be good?
Lakers will be good, too.
Who's going to be better today?
They would be better this year? That's a great question. I will go with LeBron and the Lakers.
Oh, really?
Well, it's not a guarantee.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's not.
LeBron, this Laker team,
and Paul George, their starting five of Westbrook, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Anthony Robertson, and Steven Adams was one of the best starting fives in the league statistically.
How many balls they playing with? Because you only have to play with one with LeBron.
Just saying, that five was one of the best starting fives in the league. Now, the Lakers, I'm saying they'll be better. The Lakers, what I would like to see, if they win 53 games and have home court advantage in the first round, if this is the team they go to battle with, and maybe Julius Randle, then that would be impressive. And LeBron actually may have a better chance of winning an MVP award this upcoming season
I can't even believe
he has in the past.
I cannot. Okay, stick around here. I cannot believe what you're saying.
You don't think Oklahoma City's going to be fighting for home court advantage?
Carmelo's off a cliff. Westbrook wears down because of his playing style. By the playoffs, he's done. We've seen it 2 years in a row. Roberson can't shoot. Steven Adams can't shoot. And Paul George has never been good in the clutch.
I'm saying they're going to be in the fight for home court advantage. You're dissing OKC.
Okay, just stick around. Chris Broussard next, The Herd. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.